Well, happy Thursday, everybody. I am Mac, and I'm back with another video. It is draft day, so it's not just any other kind of Thursday, as this is the first day of three over this weekend to where we see the future of the Pittsburgh Steelers, at least for the short term, who we're going to be starting out there, where Omar Khan is going to take this team going forward, and I'm personally pumped up for it. Now, over the past couple weeks or even the past month or so, I've made a couple of mock draft videos, and I'm culminating it with today. So, this is my final mock draft for the 2024 Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'll be on here all weekend giving you guys my thoughts and my reaction and my overall analysis of the draft picks for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, yes, just want to clarify this is happening right before the draft takes place. And let's not waste any more time. Let's get on to it. This is my final mock draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers for the 2024 NFL draft. And let's just get on to it. With the 20th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Jackson Powers Johnson, center out of Oregon. I've been saying all offseason long that I want this guy. I included him in my first mock draft I put out a month ago or so, and I'm sticking by it. I'm sticking by that we're going to take a center with our first pick, at least an offensive lineman with our first pick, and I've not shied away from that. So, three mock drafts, and all three of them, I've had the Steelers taking a center with the first pick because that is the biggest glaring issue that the Steelers have on the offensive side of the ball. And like I keep saying, Jackson Powers Johnson, he's the best center available. He's one of the highest rated prospects in the draft. And there's literally no doubt in my mind that with all the pundits saying that we are going to take him at 20, if he's still available and if he's still on the board at 20, there's no reason that the Steelers should not take him if he's available, but absolutely snag him up if he's still there. I don't need to go over Jackson Powers Johnson's skill set. Yins guys already know what he's capable of. I think he is a quality starter in this league, and I'm a huge advocate if he falls into our laps at 20. So, yeah, just keeping it short right there with the 20th pick. Now let's move on with the 51st overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. In the second round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Ricky Parcel, wide receiver out of Florida. So a little bit of a shock here as I got us going wide receiver with the second round. As you know, the Steelers, they have had a knack over the years with finding a wide receiver second or third round of the draft. And I think we could potentially see that right here as well. I've had us taking corner and tackle in the second round as well, but I'm going to go outside the box a little bit, throw a little curveball here, and say that we're going to go wide receiver with the second pick for my final one. So you look at Pearsall. He's a three-star recruit. He also played safety in high school, but he really flourished as a wide receiver. He did start his career at Arizona State before he transferred to Florida, I believe in 2022, and he is projected, he's projected to be a good slot receiver, and he has a lot of skill set that's about as good as anyone can hope, and I think that's something that can really benefit Arthur Smith's offense right here. Really savvy, really nuanced in his route running, and just his diversity is just such a type of attribute that the Pittsburgh Steelers want. You know, Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith are always looking for diversity. They're always looking for versatility as well. And I think Pearsall is really capable of filling it in. He's got real quick feet. He's really elusive. And it's going to really allow him to be a big vertical threat more so than just running go routes all the time. And it could create a lot of, competition with the backfield. Very reliable hands. He's a great catcher. Doesn't really have a lot of flexibility with changing direction with the routes, but with how he sets up for defenders, I think he can make up for that, and I think he can be a really good second-round pick if he's still available. So yeah, kind of throwing in guys a little bit of a curveball here as going wide receiver in the second round really couldn't hurt all that much as well. So that's my 51st pick for my final mock draft. Then with the 84th overall pick in the third round of the 2024 NFL Draft, Pittsburgh Steelers select Cooper Beebe, guard out of Kansas State. So once again, fixing up the offensive line here. Beebe brings a lot of experience and a lot of versatility from his Kansas State career. He had 48 starts combined at left guard, left tackle, and right tackle. So again, using him more as like a versatility guy, which is what we're working here on the offensive line right here. Using him as a swing guy, I really think it can help patch up that big right tackle and left tackle issues, or the question mark really that we've been having. Not so much of an issue, but I think Cooper Beebe can be really advantageous for this offensive line here. He's really well built for the interior. He's got, he's a roughly big guy. So I really think that, with that, it's going to boost up his football IQ, and it's going to really up his fundamentals here with whatever position that he's going to land on if we do get him here. He's got great leverage. He's got real good hand placement. He's got really good angles. His timing is good. I just think that this guy brings a lot to the table, and with him being a very good athlete as well, it's just going to be, again, a really good type of Tomlin type of player, which is what I like to call here, which brings versatility, like I mentioned with Ricky Pearsall early on. He doesn't really get off the ball with explosiveness, and it doesn't really convert to speed often, but he's got real heavy feet, and I really think that defending against pass rushers with whoever we start at quarterback this season, I think it's going to be a big addition to this offensive line here, and this could probably mean the end of Dan Moore Jr., which I am fully on board with. So Cooper Beebe, I would welcome him on over here at 84. Then, staying in the third round with the 98th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft in a trade with the Philadelphia Eagles, Pittsburgh Steelers select Carmen Kitchens, safety out of Miami of Florida. True freshman here. He played in all 12 games in the final. He started in the final 5 last year, and then he became full-time starter in 2022 and 2023 with Miami. He's a real good all-around athlete. He made a lot of plays in both the run and pass game, so I think that we're really going to get a good opposite of Minkah Fitzpatrick right here. And most of his experience in production is from a free safety spot. So maybe I would platoon him more on special teams a little bit. But I think if you're looking for a guy that can play opposite of Minkah, I think this guy can really fit that bill real well. He had 12 interceptions last year. He's got real good range on a high roll. But really, I think it comes down to the anticipation of his athletic ability here, especially with the run game. But when he's willing and when he's in control, and when his weight is a little bit lower than a safety with the missed tackles, I really don't think it's too much of a concern for him right here, because, all he would really need to do is just work out, gain a couple of pounds of muscle, and I really don't think that's going to be much of a glaring issue right here. He doesn't really punch a really big he doesn't have a really big punch right here as far as contact goes, but if we're just looking for a playmaker and a guy that can be opposite of Minkah, it really couldn't hurt to take this guy out of safety, give him a chance. Like I said, platoon him at special teams if you have to. Just see where he can be to begin with. But overall, I think you're getting a solid playmaker here, and I think he can complement Minkah as he develops. Then, in the fourth round, with the 119th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Brendan Rice, wide receiver out of USC. So 3 mock drafts, all 3 of them I have the Steelers double dipping at wide receiver. Here's the thing about this guy. He's the son of Jerry Rice. So, yeah, Steeler fans, if you thought that last name sounded familiar, well, there you go. He's Jerry Rice's kid. And he's got a great level of football intelligence, and it's going to set him apart from a lot of his peers. There's so much nuance to how he plays in this position, and a lot more from where you'd expect for this guy to be polished. He's got really good route running ability. He's got great techniques. He's such a smooth runner. He gains a lot of separation on every single level of the field. And I really believe that if you take this guy, he can bring not only the receiving core to a better production, but he can also really be a solid kick returner as well with his kind of athletic ability that we have, because that's another thing that the Steelers have really lacked on as far as special teams is trying to find a kick returner. So really, if you can just find this guy, put him on your receiving core, and then you can also plug him in for your special teams as a kick returner, I think that's a huge home run pick right there for the Steelers right there. So definitely Brendan Rice, if he's still available, give him a shot at 119. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Then with the 178th overall pick in the 6th round of the 2024 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select J.D. Bertrand, linebacker out of Notre Dame. As a partial Notre Dame fan, I can tell you this guy is a lot better than what people give him credit for. So let's start with his strengths first. He was a 3-year starter, and he was a 2-time team captain for Notre Dame. His production has been a lot like clockwork over the last 3 years. He can carry a good lean mass of time frame with the linebacking core. His stats are really appealing, and he can play a decent nose for the football. And also, I mean, you got a guy who can shift through inside zone blocks, and he can be steady on cutback tables. He really does attack blocks really good with downhills, and he can run through lanes. And he really does provide a lot of immediate opportunity to join as a special teams player as well. So again, like you're getting a good two-way player here. And I can tell you that as a Notre Dame fan. And at worst, you're going to get this guy on day 3. But like I said, special teams might be really his bread and butter at the end of the day. But it couldn't hurt to try him out in the starter role as well. On the downside, though, he's a little bit below average as far as the NFL linebacker and playmakers go. He has a little bit of trouble with the angle with ball carriers, so he might not be the best guy as far as the run game goes, which is okay, which is why that we got Patrick Queen in the offseason. He doesn't really have a lot to offer when it comes to pursuing tackles and lunging a whole lot, and he really is not the quickest guy. But, like I said, if he fails as a starter, I would definitely put him in as a special teams. But that's why you get these kind of guys towards the end of the draft. And I think J.D. Bertrand can be a really good piece for this Pittsburgh Steelers special teams if he's available at 178. And then rounding it out with the 195th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, staying in the 6th round, Pittsburgh Steelers select Josh Proctor, safety out of Ohio State. I mentioned this guy in my previous mock draft, and I'm sticking by it. I would really like to see this guy in the black and gold. Great versatility. You can put him in the slot. He's got great coverage. He's got real good speed, and I think he really does fit Mike Tomlin's defense a lot better than what a lot of other safeties would as well. I mentioned Carmen Kitchens, where he can be more of a special teams guy. I think Josh Proctor is more capable of being a starter, where, yes, you can also put this guy in the special teams as well alongside with Miles Killebrew. But if you want to go for a guy who I think can complement Minka better than Kitchens can, I think Josh Proctor can be that type of guy. I mean, he really doesn't have any huge expectations, so you could kind of pair him with Bertrand a little bit. But overall, you're looking at a really good guy that you can drop into nickel and dime coverage. And I think that if the Steelers do take a chance on him at 195, it's going to help out this secondary a lot. Because, like I said, safety and corner, that's where this team is really faulted at. And I think Proctor is a really good, versatile player that can fit Tomlin's defense. So there you have it. That's my final mock draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers for 2024. It's draft day, folks. I'm excited. Let's see who we take tonight. Let me know what Jins think down in the comments below. I'll be back on here with my reaction to our first draft pick and with days 2 and 3 on the weekend. Let me know what Jins think down in the comments below. I am Mac, checking on out for the day. Have a good one, everybody.